So you bought an RX8 and you're planning to engine swap it. Nice. So I'm hoping that you bought the RX8, you bought the engine you want to put it in, and you got the adapter kit and you made it all fit and it all looks nice and snug. First thing you want to look at is how you want to do this. Now this can be dependent on your budget and your expertise level, but there's 3 ways you could wire it. You can get standalone ECU that will communicate with the CAN bus network.
Hi, how are you?
Network of the car, which Haltech and Link seem to be the most that everyone uses. You can get another type of standalone ECU, but it's a plug into the RX8. All that would mean is you'd have to wipe the map and rewire the RX8 wiring loom to the engine you're putting it in, which can be a little bit more confusing, but then you do have the added benefit of it's nearly plug and play and it should communicate with the CAN bus network just fine. And then you have the other option, which is to use an OEM ECU. You're doing a K series, for instance, like what I'm doing, you can use the Honda ECU. The only problem with that is it doesn't communicate with the CAN bus, so you have to do it a little bit differently. So with the Haltech and the Link ECU, you can tie the wires from the vehicle data bus directly into the ECUs. Where I'm using the Haltech, you can just use the drop down menu, select what car, as in this case it'd be RX8, select the car and it will use that data bus network. So I mentioned earlier about standard ECUs, OEM ECUs. Well, they won't connect to the data bus network, so it becomes a little bit harder, but there is a workaround. So you can buy a little chip that you can connect all the different wires it needs to. It will get like tachometer from the ECU, wheel speed from the ABS unit, or if you've deleted the ABS unit, you can just wire the sensors straight into this little chip box, and that will send out the CAN bus network data. Can't give you too much information on that because that's not the way I've done this. I've done this using the Haltech ECU. So this is what I did to wire it. There was a few things I wanted it to do. I wanted the VTEC to work, the VTC to work, and I wanted it to be drive-by-wire. I wanted drive-by-wire because the RX8 has a... Right, this isn't a sponsor. I'm just quickly cutting in here because my recording is an absolute mess. Why do you think it's sponsored anyway? Have you seen the subscriber count right now? Put 1 to that and subscribe and watch all my shit. Anyway, what I was talking about is I want drive-by-wire. I have the pedal in the RX8 because the RX8 is drive-by-wire from factory. And it just had a load of benefits. Plus I've got the outputs on the ECU. I might as well use them. You can use a cable throttle if that's what you want to do, or if you're using the older Honda stuff, you can do that. There's a kit that SAS AutoWorks sell, and it puts the S2000 throttle body and throttle cable onto the RX8, and then you can use a standard throttle body and a cable. It's another way of doing it, just in case you needed to know. Anyway, back to what I was doing. Done some things to make it easier. So when you do your Haltech pinout, you can print out a complete I/O report of what every wire does and where it goes and what sensor it correlates to. It's all well and good, but it doesn't tell you whether you need a ground, a signal ground, a 12 volt, whatever. It doesn't tell you the rest of it. So I made another list of information that me and James dubbed the cheat sheet. And what it is each sensor or throttle body or coil or anything, any inputs and outputs that are on that engine and the throttle itself on the car, and any other information I think I would need, put on a couple sheets of paper listed with what it needs, what wires need to go to it, what colours wires need to go to it. And with these cheat sheets, it become pretty easy to wire. All it was find the correct wire, put a sleeve on the top of it, put a label on top of it, crimp it, put the plug on, slide the sleeve back, heat shrink it, and then you're good to go. Do that a lot of times. And once you've done that, you end up with a full wiring loom that you can run into your car, and then you're good to go. It might help you out, it might not. It may be a refresher for me so I can look later and go, oh yeah, that's what I did, I forgot. Who knows? But yeah, I'm gonna have to animate this because I'm just looking at the screen, looking at my dumb face. Anyway, have fun.